I was a huge fan of the first film, and a massive fan of Denis, and he's just a genius. So it's been just the time of my life getting to come here, and everybody's welcomed me with open arms, and I'm so excited about it. As soon as I read the script and spoke to Denis, I knew that it was going to be so much fun. You don't get to play characters like this every day. And on top of that, it was the challenge involved. It was the physical transformation. And Denis, as soon as we talked about Fade, he described to me his image of how he saw him and how physically imposing he wanted him to be. And so I knew that there was going to be a good challenge in that. And it was also just getting into his psychology. It's sort of, those are the characters that can be hard to justify their actions. But yet humanity is full of those types of people. So shining a light on that part of the human condition is a fascinating thing to explore. I just loved the world. It sucked me right in, and I didn't see as many of the parallels to what's happening in our culture, and I mean, the book was written many years ago, so you look at it and it feels so modern in the way of dealing with the corruption and the lies in the world, and people greedy for power, and just all the parallels that we have today. But I didn't see that when I was 15, and then I reread the book and then saw all these things I didn't see the first time. Well, for one, Denis is an incredible writer. He understands story and humanity, and is able to layer it really well. But on top of that, he writes in a very visual way. So that, in combination with the fact that I'd seen the first film and I knew his visual style and I knew what Hans Zimmer's score was going to sound like, it was a very immersive experience. You don't often get that when you're reading a script where you feel like you're already watching the movie, so I definitely felt that. Denis had an image of Fate physically that he described to me, but a lot of the reasons why and Fate's childhood and those sorts of things, those were the bits that Denis had. We had more conversations about it, figuring out, why does Fate act the way he does? What was his relationship like with his mother and his brother and his uncle, and who did he look up to when he was growing up? And so that led into finding Fade's voice, and which was, it sort of came out of this idea of living with the Baron from a very young age, and seeing that this is the man who has power. This ends up being, in this brutal world where you're leading with fear rather than love. Who do you look up to, and who do you emulate? And that's where that came from. Dune Part 2 begins sort of where the first one leaves off. Paul's life has been shattered. His family and so many people that he loved has been killed, and he's been now on this journey to one, avenge his father, and two, to unite with Chani and the Fremen to reclaim their land. And so that's the journey forward in Dune 2. Stellan and Dave they're both such sweet and funny guys, and then they're playing such nefarious characters. So they're very much. We just had a blast because, you know, you're doing things that we as ourselves can look at from the outside and see it's villainous, but then you're justifying it when you're in the moment. But there wasn't really any. It wasn't. They didn't really give me advice in that way, but they more just welcomed me with open arms and were very kind to me. It's weird to even call him Christopher. I feel like I should call him Mr. Walken. He's my hero. He's a legend. He's been a part of some of my favorite films of all time, and then to just get to watch him on set and see how he works, it has just been glorious. And on top of that, he's a hilarious and very kind guy. So we've had a blast. Florence she's one of the greatest actresses that we have right now, and she's so powerful and able to have such power and subtlety, and then we also have a great time together on set, and she's just been such a joy to get to be around. We really have had so much fun. Anytime I go on a new set, I feel like it's the first day of school, and yeah, I'm always nervous, and especially when you're coming into a film that's already been established before. But everybody here has been, they're just such a great group of people. It feels like a family, and very quickly I felt like I was just welcomed into the family. And the entire crew is just the best in the business, and I feel incredibly fortunate that I'm getting to be a part of it with all of them. Denis he's really an exceptional person. He is he's so kind and thoughtful in his collaboration. He really listens, and he won't just go straight to an answer if he doesn't have it. He'll tell you that he wants to dream on it, and then he'll dream on this and come back with some vivid, detailed, rich reason for whatever his vision is, and he's really a true genius. I mean, when you watch him at work, it's really. I feel like I'm on set with Kubrick or something. I just feel so incredibly in awe of him every day, and he makes it look easy. He's just so sweet at the same time. It's such a nice thing to get to be around. And then the other thing that I didn't realize is how funny he was. He's really got such a sense of humor. There's a couple things I hope people take away from the film. One is on an internal level, that feeling that you get when you see heroes fighting for what is right, and having to make difficult decisions and do what's best, but then on another level, it's getting to be in a movie theater and witness a spectacle like that I know how much films have meant to me, and I'm excited for audiences to get to sit down and witness what the entire crew's put together, because they've all worked so hard, and it's really just cinematically amazing. Timothy's a fantastic actor, and a really generous guy, and we've had a blast together so far, and it can be tough, you know, when you're doing physical fight scenes, and because you have to have a rapport with the other person, and it's like you're dancing together. So he's been a great dancing partner this time.